Transit TV, welcome back again to our Nigerian football series, Npfl. We have today, we're looking at Tracy, the popularly known as the Yellow Warriors of Ibadan. This is one of the most followed clubs in Nigeria. I think the club was founded in 1960 and they won the first FA Cup of the Football Association in 1971. And they play in a stadium known as what's it called again? Lekon Stadium of Ibadan that has 20,000 capacity. That stadium was built in 1988 and was renovated, I think it was 2021 by the governor. Today we have Mr. Abioye, a staff member of the club, to talk about 3SC. Very popular name. This club has produced, in the past, produced a lot of internationals from Nigeria who played for the national team and in Europe as well. And Abioye is going to help us do justice to recent happenings in 3SC. This is in harmony with our quest to help bring Nigerian football. A lot of things, good things are happening in the league right now compared to a few years back. A lot of administrators, modern day administrators, have come into several of these clubs to try to change the narrative. And we're trying to find out what is going on with 3SC presently. Mr. Abioye, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So introduce yourself properly, your full names, what you do, and what is your connection with 3SC at the moment.
Okay. My name is Samuel Abioye. I am a sports journalist. I'm a digital media specialist. I work as a Npfl reporter for Mid in Africa Sports. So I report. I focus majorly on Shooting Stars Football Club for Mid in Africa Sports. So
Okay.
I don't work directly for Shooting Stars, but
Okay. You work for a media house, but your primary assignment is over 3SC.
I report Shooting Stars, anything related to Shooting Stars exclusively.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good to know. Which means you also know more about the league as well, being a journalist.
Definitely.
Choma, you are welcome to the show. Thank you again for making this one happen. Our viewers, you already know, Choma is our Nigerian league expert. She has a wealth of connection around the league locally. So she's been putting together this series for us. And as we continue to try to bring you better and more elaborate content on the Nigerian league that is going to kick off on 31st of this month. Again, last season was won by Enugu Rangers, a fierce battle between Enugu Rangers and the Enyimba of Aba. So yeah, we're going to look at 3SC today. And so we'll go. Choma, anything to say before we go to our viewers?
Oh, yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Very excited to have Ayo today. He said Samuel, but I like Ayo.
I don't mind.
Yeah. So it's actually, I know he's going to give us more information because he's like on the league side and then he's focusing on 3SC. So I can't wait for him to tell us all we need to know. And then the viewers who are ready to sign on as 3SC stars, I'm sure some people are already looking for clubs to join. Ayo knows now. I don't know. When he sends me a jersey, I will know the one I will join. I've not joined any club now.
You're really twerking for all these clubs. Yeah, the day we did Rangers. Yeah, you're a born Rangers fan. Now you're in love with Sporting Lagos. I see you now trying to twerk for. I think we're going to have a Choma trophy for this club.
For a lady, that's actually a good thing for me.
Come on, yes, no, exactly. So
very good thing.
So let me ask you, like I said, in 3SC. Then stationary stores, of course, Enyimba, Rangers International, Iwoyan, which is now Heartland. Now, these were teams that were household names in the Academy Warriors, Kano Pillars, all those teams. Then ACB and all of them. These were clubs that were that used to produce the players that played for Nigeria at the national level, and some of them were brought to also do things in Europe. And most of these clubs, like I just mentioned, some of them are no longer in existence. Some of them are struggling, have gone to the lower leagues. But recently, Chelsea has gone through their own issues, and it looks like there is a kind of a resurgence of the club. Being having been reported on the club, what do you think? What's the present situation? Do you support the notion that the club is having some resurgence, and what has been the catalyst to that?
Well, definitely, the club is presently undergoing a resurgence. It is obvious. What I will attribute to the present resurgence as a government club, the present government, what's it called? The particular government that is in play at a particular time has a major role to play in how effective a club performs. That is the major financing. There are some governments that they know it's just an obligation for them to provide for the team, but they don't make it a priority. Yeah. But presently, this present government, I think when this present government came into place, I think Shooting Stars got relegated then. So, and I can remember vividly when he came on board, he stated his stance. I think the governor is a football loving person. He loves football a lot. And when he came on board, he stated categorically then that he would personally see to it that the club gets back its elite status, and then he provided the needed funds to make sure. I think Shooting Stars, while relegated, the league, the NNL got suspended, I think, twice during their relegation flights, and still the first time the league got suspended, I can't remember. I think that was during COVID. Shooting Stars were at the top of their group. The fans were so much disappointed when the league got cancelled. But again, they tried again, and then at the end of the day, they regained the promotion. That was coach. I've forgotten his name. That went to Sunshine Stars after. I'll remember his name later.
Okay.
So when the major, I mean, let me say the foundation for the resurgence is the government's keen interest in the team and the backing. Presently, Shooting Stars is one of the government clubs that are very much well catered for player welfare, club welfare, fans engagement, and all. At least they are presently one of the best, like right now.
Okay, so let me ask. So when did they finish in the league last season?
Come again, sir.
When did they finish in the league last season?
Fourth place. They missed out by just, I think, 1 point or 2 points.
Wow, that's good. Coming forth from relegation in the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, that's some huge achievement right there. You mentioned them being one of the best run of, having the best air around them right now amongst the government-owned clubs in terms of. Can you give us specific insight in terms of management, players, nomination, and other things? What exactly are you talking about? What makes you say that?
Yeah, I'm talking in terms of salary structure. Their salary structure, like I relate with few players, and I know what the salary structure used to be before and presently. There has been a percentage increase in how much they pay players, and unlike before, in fact, the present government pays the civil servants, I think, every 28th or 27th of the month, and it's the same for the players. They never get. There is nothing like being owed. I'm talking about salary, match allowance, match bonus, and all like stuff. So I think this gives the players an extra motivation to perform better than they've been performing before.
Okay, that's good to know. When we spoke to Sporting Lagos last week, the guys spoke about huge effort in terms of digital and social media presence for the club, which is pushing the club and projecting the club to the fans. In that area, do you think Tracy is also putting a compelling effort to that effect?
In terms of branding, in terms of the social media presence, I think Shooting Stars is still lagging behind. I'm a digital media person myself. the present effort they are putting in, it's not enough at all. But
Okay.
then probably there is still room for we give advices, but I don't know. I don't want to go into details.
Yeah,
But
of course, that is.
then,
Yeah, we would like to have the management here at some point, maybe for the league starts. Maybe you can help us get one or two of the people who can
definitely
speak with
I can do
authority
that.
on some of the things that they are doing, so that our fans can know. And again, that also brings me to the next question. Shooting Stars is, like I said earlier on, is one of the most followed clubs in Nigeria, and they still are. They still have fans who are loyal to the club, who are loyal to the brand and stuff. So, in that regard, have they lost fans, or are they doing anything to that? Is there any fan retention activities around the club? What is the thing that's making fans still stick with the club, regardless of they've been doing the last 3-4 seasons?
3SC, like you said, 3SC is a traditional club. Whether 3SC gets relegated, whether they are in the elite, whether they are winning the league, whether they are not, the fans will always be behind that club. I think probably because of the traditional history, the fans are so much attached to the club. So there's nothing like then when the club is not performing, fans will get agitated and all. But then there has never been any time the fans will say they are not backing the team or no. The fans are always behind 3SC.
But it's easy when they're playing at home, the stadium will be filled up. But away games, do you still have a large number of fans traveling with the team to away
I think
games?
that's one of the traditions about the Npfl that I don't like. The fans majorly believe their support has to be for the home games. So far, when teams are playing away from home, they just believe we just follow you online, and when you come back home, we come and support you again. But I think the supporters club, a section of the supporters club, I think they send delegations. I am not so sure about that. But I think some selected away games that are not so far away, there are some fans that travel with the team, but not as much, just few fans.
Yeah, there's also a hint of inconsistency with Tres in terms of performance on the pitch. Like you said, last season they came forth, and from in recent history, there's no guarantee what's going to happen this season. I know you have mentioned this recent governor being seriously involved or taking it as a priority to make sure that the team is well taken care of, and it showed on the performance last season. Did you feel that they're going to continue from where they stopped last season, or this consistency of this season they are doing good the next one? Is there any news or rumors of them hiring or strengthening the squad this summer with regards to going into the next season?
Presently, I am not feeling so confident. The reason why I'm not feeling so confident is that Npfl clubs, majority of Npfl clubs has this problem of keeping being consistent.
Players.
Retaining players, thank you. Like the few preseason games 3SC has played so far this season, a whole lot of new faces has emerged again. And that's what they do almost every season, rinse and repeat. The same set of players you use for last season and not the same set of players you use. And there's no way you keep that consistency. It's not possible. And the sad thing about it is what the majority of their best players from last season are not with the team again present. Majority. They struggled to keep some, but majority of the best left has left already.
Yeah, obviously you cannot do a wholesome change in your squad every season and get the same result.
It's just like you are starting afresh every season.
No, okay, yeah, exactly. Because I know that they have that issue of consistency, and if in play teams like in Rangers and Enyimba, yes, they have changes, but most times they retain the large chunk of their squad going to next season. That's why they have remained consistent and relevant in terms of achievement in the league in the past and recently as well. Recently, the Npfl made a pronouncement, I think it was 2 days ago, and banned 6 grounds, which Tracy is one of them. Sunshine Stars of Akure, I think Plateau United, Abia Warriors, Economy Warriors of Makurdi, and which one again? There's one more team, Tornadoes. These clubs were asked to either upgrade their playing stuff or they will have to find elsewhere to play their home games.
Recently,
Yeah, you think it was a couple of days. I don't know if you have been at the training at the stadium recently.
I don't think Lagos Salami has any issue with getting approved. The stadium is in good condition.
Yeah, the stadium was renovated recently, but I'm talking about the playing stuff. I think they said that the pitch is not.
The playing turf is natural, so at times it gets filled or gets trimmed. 3SC can never get any issue, they can't have any issue of getting the stadium approved. Probably at the time of inspection, probably the grass was overgrown or something, but I think they would have fixed that. The
Yeah.
stadium is in perfect.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they asked them to get them ready. Because I was wondering between now and 31st, it's just 2 or 3 weeks. If it's something that needs a complete replant or whatever, I don't think they're going to be ready. But from the narrative and from the notice that I saw, they asked them to get it ready before the league starts. And if that is expected, that means it's obviously what you are talking about. It's not a big, going to be, because I was wondering, it's not that was just renovated 2021, 2022, should be in good condition to host
Yeah,
league games.
the major challenge for the stadium is just the pitch, since it's natural. The ability to maintain is perfect. That's just the major challenge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think what did they call it again? It's coming up on the 15th or 20, what did they call it again? The annual, shit. Okay.
Is it the CAF Championship?
No, the league, their annual, like, board, what did they call that thing again? I'm looking for the word.
AGM, annual general meeting.
Exactly, AGM.
Oh, yeah.
AGM is coming up on the 15th and 16th. Apparently, after that, maybe they will now bring out the last pronouncement in regards to the stadium. Like you said, at the time of inspection, these 6 stadia were pronounced not fit to host games, and the clubs were asked to get them ready before 31st, otherwise they won't be able to hold their local games in those stadiums. So, having said that, I'm talking about inconsistency. What are the areas that you think that the club could do better to make them, become a mainstay in the league with regards to performance, club management? Because the last week when we spoke to Sporting Lisbon, the guy, Boye, he talked a lot about the managerial competence, the way the management is intentional about things they are doing around the place. Will you rate 3SC as a place where the leadership are really doing what they need to do to push staff? Because it's not just the players on the pitch. There are so many people behind the scene who do other things, who will be at it to make sure that it impacts on the on-field performance of the players.
Well, like I've said before, the welfareism is okay, but the only thing I think might limit the ability to be consistent presently is the continuity. The continuity is not there anymore. Like every season, you cannot challenge with a particular set of players this season, discard them, and come again next season. That means you are starting afresh. The fans cannot have the confidence of that continuity that the previous form will continue this season. So we just have to wait for their performance for like first few games before you can tell how the team is going to perform, and that's a no for me.
Yeah, and it creates a disconnect between the fans and the players as well. Because as maybe last season, the fans started building some relationship with the players. All of a sudden, they show up next season, those players are no longer there. They start all over again. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Choma, do you have anything to say at this point before we go ahead?
I mean, what I've been thinking is since Ayo he works in a sector that actually foresees the progress of the Npfl from what he said. I want to know if do you think with the work that we're putting in now, do you think that in 10 years, Npfl can be where the EPL is? 10 years target.
Can be where the EPL is.
Well, let's not say where it is, but at least be somewhere where people can probably, identify with it.
I said 10 years, yeah. What do you think is Npfl 10 years target?
Definitely there will be progress. Like recently we've seen progresses in different sectors unlike before. One of those is I don't know if they will still be postponing, but I think they've been adamant on the league coming back on August 31st. And if the league should actually kick off August 31st, then that will be one of the progress. That will be one of the progress we've been talking about. Because the Npfl, we know they are always postponing resumption
every time.
But then I think there are some people working to really improve really improve the league. And there are also independent journalists doing their best to push the league. There is room for improvement, definitely. And I see the league in 10 years' time, I see the league in at least 50%, 50% chance that they'll be better than where they are present in 10 years.
Doctor, let me ask you, one of the things that also hampers the development of the league in Nigeria is because of huge government involvement in terms of financing and funding, which you have also stated about Tracy. The league right now, for what you know as a journalist, do you think there's beginning to be a movement out of government? Is it government that still controls the Npfl, or are they beginning to have independence in terms of running the league?
Come again, please. I didn't get the question.
No, I said, like you said about Tracy, is one of the government-owned clubs, and I know that the NFL, the Npfl is, government is usually involved in them. As a journalist, do you think they are beginning to move away from that? Is it becoming an independent entity, or is it still largely bankrolled by the government?
Yeah, the potential is there, but to be able to achieve that. Hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I said the potential is there, but to be able to achieve that, the league itself has to attract sponsors. If the league does not attract sponsors, then you cannot get accomplish the mission to privatize the league. Because honestly, that would be the very, very best in the interest of the league. In some certain ways, the government's involvement are limiting the progress of the league in some certain ways. But then the league itself needs to be rebranded in a way that it will attract a lot of sponsors to be able to have major stakes in these clubs.
Okay. Yeah, of course. That's naturally, of course. People need to know what they're investing their money in. Though sometimes too, investors can come in with just seeing that they think what they're going to put their money in might not have what it takes right now, but it has the potential to generate when they put in their expertise. So I think one thing is, yes, it should be able to attract investors, but at the same time, there also has to be intentional efforts to try to privatize the league. Because I'm sure if they try to do that, their investors are going to come in and make the league attractive. Another thing I wanted to ask, sometimes when you talk to players, they always mention about facilities around the club, the training facilities and stuff like that. Do you think that Tracy, even though the stadium was renovated 2021, do they have training facilities that can compare to what I've heard about Enugu Rangers, Enyimba, and Sporting Lisbon? In Sporting Lagos, they play at Oniko, and they train at the national stadium. So obviously, you have access to modern or good facilities. Tracy, how do you rate them in that regard?
I think in terms of training facilities for shooting stars presently is very much limited. They train majorly at the Lagos Alani Stadium where they play their matches. Just once in a while, they make use of Olubadan Stadium as an alternative training ground. But then, majority of these clubs, these are one of the challenges. Most of them train where they play their matches. Most of them don't have alternative training grounds.
Yeah.
Yes. But presently, the shooting stars trains mainly at the Lagos Alani Stadium.
Okay. So knowing what you know, though, you already said that there's no guarantee that the same players that pushed to qualify for the Continental last season are going to be there. I want to ask you, what's your expectation going into next season?
Just like I said earlier, the expectation can only be stamped when the season begins and you watch their first few games. That is the tradition mainly with clubs. But with what I've seen in the preseason, they won the preseason tournament in the Coast City Cup. Well, I told my colleagues I was not convinced with the performance I saw. The performance was below par. With the team I watched last season and what I saw this season, what I saw during it's more like a setback rather than progress. But then Like, because I listened to an interview where the coach said he's still trying to build, and definitely he'll get the team ready before the season. So we'll be banking on that. But regardless,
Yeah, it's true. They won the Coast City Cup, right?
yes,
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. But is it the same coach that coached the team last season that's still going to be there next season?
yes. He extended his contract 2 years by 2 years.
Oh, that's good. So that means because if he worked well with those players, I'm sure he's going to try to at least retain some of his key players going into next season.
He actually tried. He actually tried to retain some of the players that left, but most of those players they had a very good season and got better offers that they could not say no to. I think
Yeah.
that was just the major. They
Wow,
tried, like
it's a global thing in football. If you do well, other club coming with better offer, and once they make a good offer to your club, they accept it, and then you have to negotiate your personal terms. And yeah, you can't really do more about that. But sometimes another thing that I got from Sporting Lagos was that they begin to offer their players a little bit of longer contract. Contrary to what you usually have in the league, people just sign 1 year contract, and after that 1 year, they are free to go, which is one of the reasons why these players can easily move. So, Tracy, do you think that they're doing anything in that regard to try to give players like 2 or 3 years contract to make them, not easily leave the club when the time comes?
even when they offer the players 2 3 years contracts, most of the players will turn it down. They just want majority of the players just want a year contract. They don't want to be tied down to the club because
Wow.
if you when they get tied oh.
Lost Ayo right there. Speaking about Nigeria is a very unique place, and it's in every ramification. I don't know why players refusing to sign more than 1 year, so they prefer to be looking for clubs every year. And exactly this instability, this is the reason why a lot of clubs are struggling. Because you can't really plan ahead, both as a coach, both as a club management, and these things is not rocket science. If you don't have stability, it's difficult for you to perform season in, season out. And this is something that the league has to work on. And you can easily see teams like Sporting Lagos now, Enyimba, Rangers, I keep mentioning them, they do things differently and are getting different results. So why is it difficult for other people to just know that this module works and let's just implement it?
No, I think it's about leadership. Because all these clubs you mentioned, they have done something differently.
Exactly.
Leadership, the administration, because it's not just going to be about the footballers, like you mentioned. It's not just going to be about the footballers playing the game. There are people behind the scene. Okay, people behind the scene making sure that it's working. Okay, I mean, there's even a gist about Sporting Lagos not taking more than they can, afford.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they want to make sure that they can pay, use the resources you have, and make sure it goes round. You can't have more players and then you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, this is the Nigerian problem. It's the Nigerian league problem. And don't blame some of all these players that just want 1 year. If you're not giving them what they need, they want to be free. They want freedom. So that if tomorrow another club comes for them, clubs like Enyimba or, anyone, could be Ikorodu City, looking for them or anybody. They want to go. Do you know there are some clubs that actually could be some clubs in NNL that have better administration than a club in Npfl?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
It's a leadership problem. Look at Rangers International now under Amobi. It's different. I mean, from leadership to on and off the pitch, business.
Yeah, even the facilities. I was looking at the stadium for the Coast City tournament. You can see that, capacity in terms of modernization and control and all that. So these are the things that need to be worked on. 3SC is a very big team in Nigerian League. And I believe that luckily now, like you said, the governor is prioritizing the club. And I hope he continues to do that and maybe goes beyond this regime so that the team can come back to its place in the in the history and in the happenings in the league, so that their fans can have something to cheer about, and we grow the league as well. You talked about being like EPL. I'm not even saying big EPL, at least big, something close to that. Look at the South African League. They produce 80% of their national team players, and in the last concluded Nations Cup, they did very well. So we need to start to produce. We have players in the league who are good enough to play for national team, but because of these things, they are not working in a condition that is can compete with what you have all over the world. It's difficult for them when the times come that they kind of are naive, and they find it difficult to cope with a changed atmosphere going abroad to play in better stadiums or facilities and stuff. Maybe sometimes I remember when I was running my academy, I took some players for trials abroad. The first 2-3 games that we played, you could see that it was like, is this for real? Because where they were training was way different from the kind of facilities that we saw abroad. So these are the things I think the leadership and management of these clubs should start working on, and to help the players, give them the confidence to sign normal contracts and stay and show their talent and move this league where it should be. Our viewers, please let us know, send in your questions if you have anything to say. And if you are in Nigeria, you've been watching TLC, in the comment section, let us know what your experience has been in the league, watching this team, and what you think they need to do to move TLC back to where it should be in the Nigerian League. Choma, thank you very much for coming by today again and making this one happen. Tomorrow we'll be talking to Remo Stars rep and find out what is going on with them as well. We're trying to go around the league and the NNL as much as we can before the league starts, to give you out there, Nigerian League fans, we have been asking for this content, what you need to know about the Nigerian League, and we'll continue it as the league progresses as well. We'll try to bring fans, real fans of this club, especially in the derby and big games, to come and do their banter and give us their support for their teams as the league unfolds. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Thank you very much. If you are new here, to get more of this content, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and continue to stay with us on this journey to showcase Nigerian League out there globally for more people to see. Thank you, and see you next time. Ciao. Choma, bye.